Hello, everyone. Emily and Jack seemed to lead the perfect life. Jack was the kind of husband who was admired for his hard work, kindness, and unwavering commitment to his wife. They were a couple that complemented each other in every way, from quiet movie nights to leisurely weekend brunches. Even after 5 years of marriage, Jack still looked at Emily with the same sparkle in his eyes as he had on their wedding day. He believed they were soulmates and knew each other deeply. But as time passed, small things began to feel off. Emily, who once eagerly shared every detail of her day, became more reserved. She laughed less, avoided Jack's gaze occasionally, and always seemed busy, even when they were alone together. Jack brushed it off, thinking it was just stress from her demanding new marketing job, which required long hours and frequent travel. However, a quiet sense of unease began to grow in his chest. The first sign came on a Friday night when Emily was going out with her friends for a girls' night. Jack encouraged her to have fun, but as the evening went on and her texting slowed down, Jack's stomach twisted. When she came home late, smelling faintly of cologne and looking a bit too put together for a girls' night out, Jack's suspicions grew. He tried to push them aside, not wanting to be the type of man who questioned his wife's every move. Later, Jack was helping Emily with some laundry when her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. Last night was unforgettable. When can we do it again? Emily had never given him a reason to doubt her before, but 2 weeks later, the second sign came. Jack put down the laundry and took a deep breath, his heart sinking as he saw the message. When Emily noticed his expression, she quickly erased the text and forced a smile, saying it was just a joke from a client. Jack smiled back, but doubt crept into his thoughts. The message kept echoing in his mind, making him uneasy. He became more withdrawn, watching Emily closely, painfully aware of every small change in her behavior. Before long, his worst fears were confirmed. One rainy Saturday night, Emily told him she'd be working late again. Jack kissed her goodbye, but as he watched her drive off, a heavy sense of uncertainty filled his chest. On impulse, he decided to follow her. He stayed a safe distance behind, turning off his headlights. He watched as Emily pulled into a dimly lit bar on the other side of town, where a tall, dark-haired man with a big smile waited by the door. Emily embraced him and laughed as she stepped out of the car. Jack's heart shattered. He returned home. The image burned into his mind, his vision blurred with anger and betrayal. He staggered into his empty house, overwhelmed with a mix of emotions but feeling numb. He poured himself a drink, then another. Each one dulled the pain just enough for him to think clearly. He realized there was no saving his marriage. The woman he loved was gone, replaced by someone he didn't recognize. But instead of lashing out, Jack decided to do something that would make Emily feel the betrayal as intensely as he did. He spent the next week carefully planning. He emptied their joint bank accounts, transferring the funds to an account she couldn't access. He began packing his things slowly, taking only what he needed, leaving no trace that he'd ever lived there. He arranged to work remotely, coordinating with his boss to make sure he could leave without drawing attention. He wanted to be gone before Emily even realized what was happening, leaving her with nothing but empty rooms and the weight of her actions. The night before his departure, Jack booked a suite at a nearby hotel. He knew Emily would likely spend the night with her mystery man, which worked perfectly for his plan. While Emily was out, Jack carefully executed his plan. He left a simple note on the kitchen counter. "I know everything." No explanation, no apology, just those 3 words. He made one last sweep of the house, leaving behind the memories of their time together. By the time he closed the door behind him, the house was almost empty, a hollow shell that mirrored the emptiness in his heart. At the hotel, Jack poured himself a glass of whiskey and watched the clock, eager to see how Emily would react when she returned home. She came in at daybreak, the scent of another man's cologne still on her clothes. As she entered, she was unnerved by the silence. She turned on the lights, her eyes landing on the letter on the kitchen counter. She staggered through the house, panic building inside her as she realized Jack was truly gone. The closets were nearly empty, the drawers almost bare, and even their wedding pictures were gone. She frantically dialed Jack's number, but it went straight to voicemail. Her heart raced as she left desperate messages. In the weeks that followed, Emily tried everything to reach Jack. She called friends and family, and even went to his workplace, only to find out he had taken a remote job. Her calls and messages went unanswered, and her composure began to crumble. The new relationship she had with her mystery man quickly soured, and she pleaded with him to return, but Jack didn't answer. He was already long gone. Jack, meanwhile, started a new chapter in a different city. He rebuilt his life with new friends, far from the memories of his broken marriage. He found peace knowing he had taken control of his own future, and would not let betrayal define him. When Jack reflected on everything, he didn't feel anger, only a quiet sense of contentment. He had given Emily the freedom she wanted, but in doing so, she had trapped herself in loneliness and regret.